Hello, my name is Tim, my company is Sports and Touring, and we are Jaguar F-Type specialists. The F-Type was offered in a wide range of colours by Jaguar, but during the 2010s there were a few colours which were a little out of fashion. Italian Racing Red, Fire Sand Orange, Loire Blue or Dark Sapphire Blue, and believe it or not, British Racing Green. Now fortunately trends have moved on. Those colours are now very much in demand, and that is why I am so excited to have this car here with us at Trinley. It is a British Racing Green Coupe 380 all-wheel drive with a host of optional extras, and considering its mileage just shy of 58,000 miles at the moment, which is a little more than we usually stock, it is in sensationally good condition with great history too. And I'm very excited indeed to show you around. There is the Growler badge, which has adorned the nose of so many fabulous Jaguars over so many decades. And that is one hint at the history behind this design. The other hint, of course, is in the name, the F-Type. When Jaguar conceived of a new two-seat sports car, they didn't have to call it that. They could have called it the XT or some other name. But I think when they chose to call it the F-Type, that decision meant it had to be perfectly correct. And they achieved nothing less than that. The F-Type has a place now in motoring history. I dare say it is the modern classic British sports car without question. And this particular example then looking stunning in this paint finish and featuring the design pack, so the side skirts and front and rear splitters. It is sitting on these beautiful, perfect and freshly refurbished Tornado wheels. They aren't in fact split rim wheels, although the machine screws might suggest they are. They are decorative rather than functional, but they do look sensationally good. We can, by the way, offer this car on a whole range of other wheel designs to your preference. We specialise in F-Types, and therefore we keep a wide stock of wheels in our workshop. Coming around to the back, we see the bright chrome badging, the Jaguar Leaper logo, and the R-Dynamic AWD badge there. And of course these beautiful, bright, shiny twin chrome exhaust pipes from which the most sensational soundtrack emanates when you're driving. All around the car, the paintwork is in fabulously good condition. It's clearly been cherished and diligently looked after. It hasn't been through any of those horrible mechanical car washes. This is a fine example of the F-Type Coupe, both outside and inside. And on that note, we'll take a look in the cockpit. We'll supply this car, of course, with 2 remote key fobs and the book pack, but no need to have the key fob in your hand because keyless entry and start is one of the extra cost options on this car. Just tap the button there, the car unlocks, the door handles pop out, the power fold mirrors move into position, and we can look into this gorgeous cockpit. Starting perhaps with the door card, which I hope you can see is in sensationally good order. Pretty well perfect as it left the factory, in fact. Examining more closely, we can see we've got the 12-way memory seat package with adjustable lumbar support, and there is the badge that tells you have Meridian sound on this car, so the mid-spec sound system, but nonetheless a very fine system indeed. Panning around, we've got the R-Dynamic badged tread plate there in fine condition, and these beautiful performance seats in jet or ebony leather with the chrome appointment there, and the perforated centre sections, which are not only very comfortable, but which look so good too. Okay, sitting down into the F-Type cockpit, and I always point out that it's kind of an environment of art and science together. The design side of things and the technology side of things work in brilliant harmony here. The ergonomics are splendid. The look and feel of everything, the quality of the materials is very fine indeed. In more detail, between the 2 headrests there, we've got a little stowage pouch with a net. Then we've got the armrest, which lifts up to reveal 12-volt socket, a SIM card slot if you want mobile data, 2 USB sockets and an HDMI socket as well for the infotainment. Forward of that, the twin cup holders with a recess for one of those little drink cans. And to explore further, we'll fire up the supercharged V6. So my finger on the start button, my foot on the brake pedal, and we'll watch the instrument binnacle do its little self-test flying display. The steering wheel moves down into the driving position, and the centre air vent rises up into the appropriate position as well. Down to the centre console then. A button for the eco stop start defeat, which prevents the engine turning off at the traffic lights and so on. A button for the rear spoiler. That goes up and down automatically at set speeds when you're driving, but you can also put it up and down manually, and we can see that now if I pan the camera around. There it comes, and it stows away again. And next we come to the electronic parking brake switch. With hill start assist, pretty well takes care of itself, I have to say. And on to the traction control off button, disables the traction control, makes the car very exciting. If you're going to check that out, I'd suggest maybe do a track day with an instructor and explore how the car handles with it off, with some help beside you, unless you're very confident of your skills. Then the switchable sports exhaust button. This opens the two valves in the exhaust, which generate a throatier exhaust note when you're driving. They open also when you select dynamic mode. I'll come to that in a moment or two as well. Here we've got the infotainment on-off button for the media and the volume control as well. And then this beautiful shift stick. It falls beautifully to the hand. The button on the front there activates it, and then you can move into drive mode like so. Go sideways across into sports gearbox mode. Once you're there, you can shift up and down using the shift stick like so. You've always got the flappy paddles on the steering wheel. I prefer these because then my hands are on the wheel and I'm in complete control while manoeuvring and shifting, of course. Back to the shift stick, and we press the P button there on the top to select park mode. And we come to the driving mode selector switch, perhaps the most important switch in the F-Type cockpit. At the moment, we're in standard driving mode. We can go forward into rain, ice and snow mode, which calms the car down very considerably for driving in slippery conditions. Many manufacturers haven't really got this working properly for them, and it tends to be ornamental in certain car manufacturers' designs. In the Jaguar range, it is a very useful tool indeed. Back into standard mode or vanilla mode, and then rearwards into dynamic driving mode, or tutti frutti driving mode as I sometimes call it. You can see the instrument binnacle backlighting turns red, and we had a message there saying dynamic driving mode confirmed. And we'll talk more about that in a moment or two when we look at the infotainment screen. Okay, over here on the climate control section then, we have dual zone climate in this particular F-Type. So passenger and driver dial in their own choice of temperature, and then press the button and you have 3-stage seat cooling and seat heating. I mentioned the perforations in the leather. That enables the cooling to work by blowing cooled air onto your back and onto your legs and so on while you're driving, and it's super efficient and comfortable. We've got buttons for auto climate, air conditioning, timed recirculation, front and rear demist, and of course the electrically heated front windscreen. So it has those tiny wires running through it which heat up and clear the mist and ice very rapidly indeed in winter conditions. Back to the infotainment screen now, and we're on the home page at the moment. We've got the infotainment options, so at the moment DAB radio tuned, but we've also got online media and the media library, and FM and AM as well if we wanted it. And if we had a phone connected, we'd have Bluetooth as well, of course, so you can play Spotify, BBC Sounds or whatever you prefer from your phone. Back to the home page, Bluetooth telephony, very crisp and clear, easy to use in this car. The climate selection there enables you to direct the airflow as you wish it and to synchronize the two temperatures as well, like so. Back to the home screen, and we come to the satellite navigation. No one is signed into the car at the moment, so we can just use it as any user would. You can see there it's very crisp and clear. If I zoom out a little, the map display is lovely, and the instructions and programming and so forth very easy indeed as well. Coming back to the home screen, and we go to extra features here, and you can see we've got cameras, in-control apps, valet mode, live contacts and Bluetooth, and those are all options that you may choose to use. And then we come back across here to the My Home 1 page, where you can program your own widgets, your own shortcuts to your desire, in order to have moment by moment access to the things that you use most frequently. I mentioned we talk about dynamic mode. This vehicle doesn't have dynamic eye, but that doesn't really matter. I very, very seldom use dynamic eye. It enables you to have dynamic mode, but for example with comfort suspension. And I've never honestly felt a need to do that. So dynamic eye, yeah, nice to have, but certainly not a necessary function, I think, on the F-Type. Coming over to the steering wheel, we've got the two thumb pads here with the infotainment and Bluetooth telephony on the left-hand side. And on the right-hand side, we've got the cruise control and active speed limiter, and the electrically heated steering wheel, which is so brilliant in the winter. If you've been out for a walk, for example, you come back to the car, your hands are cold, it heats up really quickly and is lovely and comfortable and warm in those conditions. Over on the left-hand side stalk, we've got the automatic headlamps, and on the right-hand stalk, the rain-sensitive wipers, of course. This beautiful instrument binnacle, you use the left-hand thumb pad there to select various modes. We've got trip and display and vehicle settings, vehicle info, all available there in the centre part of that display. And to round off our tour of the cockpit, just here by my right knee, we've got the boot release and the rear fog light button, and the dimmer as well for the instrument binnacle itself, like so. All in all, sumptuously equipped. And the other point I have to make is, especially considering the mileage this car has done, you know, it's unusual for us to stock a car with this number of miles on it, but this cockpit is in stunningly fine order. You might expect some wear on the steering wheel. There isn't any. That is testament to two things. First, the quality of the materials Jaguar use when they build their vehicles, and second, the diligent care with which this car has been treated by its owners. And it is in very, very fine order indeed, and sits proudly on our stock list for its condition and specification. Okay, we'll switch the engine off and take a look in the boot. When Jaguar designed the F-Type, they knew it had to be practical as well as a sensational sports car. And that is why they gave the coupe a boot with over 300 litres of space in it. Yes, it's a slightly unusual shape. If you're going touring, I recommend that you invest in a set of bespoke luggage which fits the space exactly and looks fantastic as you walk up the steps to your hotel. But otherwise, just stick with soft-sided cases and avoid hard-sided suitcases, and you will do very well indeed with this very large space. It extends, by the way, out behind the wheel arches. You can put a set of golf clubs in. They go in diagonally like so, and then you move the bag around so that it lays across the rear of the boot like that. Under this little panel here, we've got a handy stowage, especially if you're going touring in Europe. You've got to take all that safety gear with you. I recommend that it goes in there. And to round off, we've got the tyre inflation compressor there. There's a bottle of tyre gunk just under there as well, should you have the misfortune to encounter a puncture. Down goes the boot, and we can come round and have a look at the passenger side of the car. And again, this door card in fabulously fine order, I dare say. The tread plate, likewise, is pretty well perfect. And the dashboard, carpet mat, center console, and this very gorgeous performance seat in jet leather. Absolutely perfect. Our next port of call is going to be there, under the bonnet. The F-Type is notable for its very large bonnet, under which we find the plastic cover sitting on top of the supercharger, sitting on top of the 3-litre V6 engine, producing 375 horsepower, 380 PS, and driving this F-Type from 0 to 60 in just 4.8 seconds, and onto a top speed which is artificially limited at 171 miles per hour. And doing so, of course, by means of the 8-speed ZF gearbox, one of the best gearboxes of all time, I dare say, in the automotive industry. It's renowned for its efficiency and reliability and speed of shifting as well, and smoothness of operation. And with, of course, the all-wheel drive system as well. Fundamentally, this is a rear-wheel drive car until the computers sense that they need to send power to the front, in which case the appropriate amount of power is measured and sent to the front of the car to maintain grip and agility and maneuverability and all of those kinds of things. But this car is not, as I always point out at this stage in our videos, about the technology itself. It is about the emotional connection that you will feel sitting in the driver's seat with your hands on that wheel between you and your journey and the vehicle. The connection that the F-Type makes in that respect is without question the essence of owning and driving one of these beautiful sports cars. I hope you can see here under the bonnet everything is correct, clean, crisp, as it should be. This car has passed all of our technical inspections without any glitches. We've just had it serviced as well as at Marshall Jaguar in Newbury, who look after us so brilliantly well. It is in fine order and waiting to thrill its next keeper. So thank you very much indeed for watching. It has been a great privilege to show you this beautiful F-Type. We're Sports and Touring just outside Andover in Hampshire, open 7 days a week by appointment only. You're very welcome to telephone, email or WhatsApp us if you have any questions, or if you'd like to see this car either in person or by video call. It'll be our pleasure to send you a link to the Google Drive. That's our online folder with higher resolution photos, which you can zoom in on, and PDF copies of important documents. If you've got a car to dispose of on your buying journey, we'll give you frank and honest advice about the best way to achieve the maximum value with the minimum inconvenience. And if you'd like to chat about finance, we can do that as well. We're authorised and regulated by the FCA, and we work with a really brilliant broker. Do please take a few moments to read our reviews in Auto Trader. I'm very proud indeed of the things our previous customers say about us. And I'll close by saying thank you again. Feel free to like and subscribe to us here on YouTube, and we will look forward to hearing from you very soon. Contact details coming in a moment.